Hello viewers, welcome to GPS applications. Today we are going to look at aircraft landing system. Myself, Professor N. Dinesh Kumar, Head of Electronics and Communication Engineering Department from Vignan Institute of Technology and Science, which is located near Ramoji Film City, Hyderabad. So let us get into aircraft landing system, where and how the GPS will be used. So first let us start with a simple technique called as instrument approach and instrument landing system. In aviation, an instrument approach or instrument approach procedure, which is in short called as IAP, is a series of predetermined maneuvers for the orderly transfer of an aircraft under instrument flight conditions from the beginning of the initial approach to the landing or to a point from which a landing may be made visible. An instrument landing system operates as a ground based instrument approach system that works by sending radio waves downrange from the runway end with the aircraft that intercept it using the radio waves to guide them onto the runway. So the definition might be a little bit clumsy, but let us look at this definition from the picture point of view. So before getting into that main picture which I am going to show you, the principle of operation of instrument landing system is important as such. So instrument landing system provides precision with lateral and vertical guidance to an aircraft approaching and landing on a runway using the combination of radio signals and in many cases the high intensity lighting arrays to enable a safe landing during the instrument meteorological conditions such as generally a low ceiling or reduced visibility due to fog, rain or blowing snow. An aircraft approaching a runway is guided by ILS, that is instrument landing system receivers in the aircraft, by performing modulation depth comparisons. Many aircrafts will be routed by the signals into the autopilot mode so that to fly the approach automatically. So generally, as you know, that the aircrafts can be run in three modes: an autopilot mode, a semi-autopilot mode or totally manual mode. So here there is every possibility that we can route the signals whatever is been obtained from the instrument landing system into the autopilot to fly the aircraft automatically. So the instrument landing systems consists of two independent subsystems. One is called as localizer, which is going to provide the lateral guidance, and other is the glide slope, which is going to provide the vertical guidance. So a localizer is an antenna array, that is shown in the figure. It's an antenna array normally located beyond the departure end of the runway and generally consists of several pairs of directional antennas. As you can see this, all these red things is one antenna, each one containing a series of, and there is an series of antenna arrays are being located there. The localizer will allow the aircraft to turn and match the aircraft with the runway. After that, the pilots will get into activate approach phase, which is generally called as APP. So once the pilot gets this particular display on his indicator, which is there on the dashboard of the total aeroplane, then the pilot must correct the runway or correct the direction of the vehicle. So the pilot must correct to the left. The indication is dead opposite to how we are getting here. The arrow mark, there is a two lines crossing, which means that the pilot must correct to the left and little upwards. Though it is showing upwards and to the left, actually the correction must be done to the left and little upwards. So it is opposite in what we analyze generally. So the pilot will automatically correct once he sees this particular display. Then the second important the operation that should be carried out, or second important subsystem that will be there, which is glide slope, which is in simple form called as G by S. So once the pilot is going to get this particular indication, this is going to correct the vehicle onto the runway perfectly, or the aeroplane perfectly onto the runway. The pilot controls the aircraft so that the glide slope indicator remains centered on the display to ensure the aircraft is ensured so that the glide path of approximately 3 degrees above the horizontal, that is above the ground level, to remain above obstructions and reach the runway at the proper touchdown point. So here you can see that I am showing two planes, ILS planes. So one is a localizer aerial and other is the glide slope aerial. You can see that localizer and glide slope aerials are going to work on two different frequencies. One is 90 Hz and other is 150 Hz. In the localizer aerial, as you can see, it's going to give a horizontal direction for the vehicle to move, or the aeroplane to move horizontally, whereas the glide slope is going to give a particular angled, a vertical angle for the aeroplane to move. So here you can see that a small aeroplane is been shown, where the aeroplane has to move in the line of the localizer along with the glide slope. So it's going to move in this particular slope so that it can exactly catch up onto the runway, so that it can be safe landed. So this type of glide slope is going to be sending that aerial signals to the vehicle which is on move. So this is a glide slope aerial, GS aerial. So this particular picture shows how the aeroplane is going to move in the ILSA planes. So this particular, the horizontal direction, and there is a slope direction, a glide path direction. So the aeroplane has to move exactly in the center of these two. That is, it has to always get into that particular center, and it's going to move to the very minimal point, which is the minimum point here, from where the pilot has to see that he has to land the aeroplane exactly onto the runway perfectly without any problems. So this ILSA planes is going to play an important role, are the two subsystems which I have discussed, that is localizer and glide slope, which provides this ILSA planes are going to be very important in land and in aircraft landing system. So this aircraft landing system, or the instrument approaches, are being categorized into three important categories. One is precision approach, the other one is approach with a vertical guidance, and third one is non-precision approach. When I say precision approach, it's an approach with vertical guidance and also uses a navigation system for course and glide path deviation, just not the same as the standards as a PA, that is the precision approach. The examples for precision approach, the instruments that will be used in the precision approach includes Barrow vertical navigation, a localizer type directional aid, that is LDA, with a glide path indication. The other one is going to be azimuth navigation, which is generally called as LNAV, or a vertical navigation, which is a VNAV, and a localizer performance with vertical guidance, that is LPV. So these are all the examples of a precision approach instrument, where this precision approach is going to give a perfect indication for the aeroplane to land onto the runway without any problems. The second category is the approach with vertical guidance, which is a non-precision approach. A non-precision approach uses a navigation system for course deviation but does not provide glide path information. So whenever such type of approach is going to be used, now the pilot has to decide at which minimum point he has to down the aeroplane so that he comes onto the runway perfectly. So this approach include VHF omnidirectional range, that is VOR, a non-directional beacon, that is NDB, and LNAV, that is azimuth navigation. There will not be any vertical navigation system here. PAs and APVs are flown to a decision height and attitude. I am going to discuss about decision height and attitude, where the pilot is going to decide from which height or attitude he has to down the plane so that he can perfectly land the aeroplane onto the runway. The third approach is the non-precision approach, that is NPA, where they are flown to a minimal descent altitude. So there will not be any such type of a standardized systems which will tell how to come on to the runway using all these standard subsystems like LNV, VNV, LDA, LPV. So let's get into the precision approach, which is very important. A precision approach is an instrument approach and landing using precision, lateral and vertical guidance with minima as determined by the category of operation. So I will discuss about what are the categories of operations just briefly. So in contrast, a non-precision standard instrument approach procedure only provides horizontal guidance. No vertical guidance will be provided in non-precision standard approach. So precision approach is going to be the perfect approach which can give both lateral as well as vertical guidance, that is horizontal guidance as well as the vertical guidance. So lateral and vertical guidance refers to the guidance provided either by a ground-based navigation aid or by a computer generated navigational data displayed to the pilot of an aircraft, or a controller interpreting the display on a radar screen, which is a PAR, that is precision approach radar. So the precision approach, as you can see here, the controller uses a PAR, that is a precision approach radar display, to guide the pilot or the flight crew through the final stages of landing, providing horizontal and vertical guidance. In real time, ATC directs the pilot flight crew to change the heading or adjust the descent rate to keep the aircraft on a path that allows it to touch down at the correct spot on the runway. So precision approach gives that particular accuracy which is not possible with the non-precision approach at all. So that there are three categories in precision approach. So these categories are being categorized based on two different things, that is a decision altitude or height, which is simply called as DH, or it can be on runway visual range, that is RVR, or simply a visibility. So there are possibilities that because of the snow and all these things, because of the disturbances, because of the environmental conditions, there is every possibility that the pilot may not be able to see the where to land perfectly or the runway perfectly. So during that particular environmental conditions, the precision approach is going to be very useful. So there are three categories. The category 1, where the vehicle or the pilot is moving his aeroplane or the plane at not lower than 60 meters, which means is above 200 feet from the ground. So in category 2, it is below 200 feet but not lower than 30 feet or otherwise 100 feet. So the pilot will be there somewhere in between, the aeroplane or the plane will be there more than 100 and less than 200, that is categorized into category 2. The category 3, which is less than 30 meters or otherwise less than 100 feet, where there will not be any decision altitude or decision height now. So the category 3 is once again divided into 3 categories. Lower than 30 feet because already he is less than 100 feet, and that is called as category 3A. In category 3B, the pilot has the plane has already reached less than 50 meters or less than 15 meters, less than 50 feet or less than 15 meters, and there is no decision height or decision altitude now. He has to land the plane anywhere in category 3. But in category 1 and 2, there is every possibility that if there is the decision can be taken and where he can once again fly the plane. But in category 3, there is no such option. In category 3C, now it is already very near to the runway, or very much above the runway. It is much less than the meters, maybe less than 2 or maybe less than 5 meters or so. So there is no decision height or altitude. It has to be landed safely. So these are the three basic categories of precision approach, depending upon on which altitude or which height the vehicle is moving. So these are the basic references which I have chosen. One is Wikipedia, and other is a skybrary.aero. This is a website which is official website where the precision approach operation and the pictures are being taken. So thank you all. If there are any queries, you can please mail me at dinuha@yahoo.co.in. Thank you.